What if the very act of waiting for your manifestation is the exact reason it hasn't showed up yet? Most people spend months, sometimes even years, waiting for their physical 3D reality to change. They do the affirmations. They visualize every single night. They write down their desires over and over again. But, day after day, they wake up, look around, and ask themselves the exact same question. Where is it? Why isn't it here yet? Neville Goddard taught us something completely different, a principle so profound that it turns traditional manifestation upside down. You do not wait for time to bring you your desire. You collapse time. In this video, you will discover the time collapse method. By the end of this watch, you will understand how to bypass the waiting period entirely and bring your future reality into the exact present moment. And when you master step number 2, everything changes for you today. To understand how to collapse time, we first have to understand the trap that almost everyone falls into when trying to manifest. Think about how you currently approach your goals. When you want something, whether it is financial abundance, a specific person, a new career, or physical healing, your brain automatically projects that desire into the future. You tell yourself, I will be happy when it happens, or I am working towards it, or I am praying that it comes soon. On the surface, this feels natural. That is how we were taught to operate in the physical world ever since we were children. We were conditioned to believe that everything takes hard labor, patience, and linear progress. We are taught that if we want to reach the top of a staircase, we must climb every single step individually, suffering through the passage of hours, days, and years. But in the realm of consciousness and the law of assumption, this creates a massive psychological trap. The very second you project your desire into the future, your mind accepts a dangerous underlying premise. I do not have it right now. Whatever state you are conscious of being in right now is what your reality must reproduce. Reality is simply a mirror reflecting your present state of awareness. It possesses no intelligence of its own. It merely reflects your dominant feelings and identity without judging whether they are good or bad. So if your present state of awareness is, I am waiting, the mirror has no choice but to reflect back to you, more waiting. You become stuck in a perpetual loop of seeking, wanting, and hoping, while the actual object of your desire stays permanently positioned on the horizon, just out of reach. This is where Neville Goddard's deep wisdom comes in. Neville famously stated, shorten the interval between the desire and its fulfillment. What does it actually mean to shorten that interval? In the physical world, we view time as a straight line. Yesterday is behind us, today is where we stand, and tomorrow is ahead of us. We believe we have to walk down this long linear path, step by step, taking action, and waiting for hours, days, or years to pass before we reach our destination. We tell ourselves that we must pay our dues, wait for the right moment, or wait for someone else's approval before we are allowed to experience our desired outcome. But Neville, along with modern quantum physics, tells us that time is purely a construct of human perception. In the infinite space of consciousness, every single potential version of your life already exists right now. It is not something you have to build from scratch. It is something you simply select. The version of you that is struggling exists right now in the quantum field. But the version of you that is wildly successful, deeply loved, wealthy, healthy, and completely fulfilled also exists right now in this exact millisecond. Time collapse is not about forcing physical reality to move faster through sheer willpower, stress, or desperate action. It is not about rushing the universe or exhausting yourself trying to make things happen overnight. Time collapse is about taking a quantum leap in your own mind. It is about collapsing the mental distance between who you are being right now and the person who already has what you want. When you close that gap in your mind and accept the reality within, the physical 3D reality is legally forced to rearrange itself to match your new state of consciousness. So how do you practically execute the time collapse method in your daily life? How do you move from endlessly waiting to immediately experiencing? It comes down to 3 fundamental transformative shifts. Step number 1. Stop looking for signs in the 3D reality. The moment you look around your physical room, check your bank account, or glance down at your phone to see if it worked yet, you instantly break the collapse. Why? Because checking for proof is the ultimate proof that you do not believe you have it. Think about the mechanics of human behavior. A person who is genuinely wealthy does not check their bank account every 5 minutes in a panic to see if they are still wealthy. They don't need outer confirmation because their inner security is absolute. A person who is in a loving, secure relationship does not constantly scan their partner's every word for hidden clues to see if they are still loved. They simply live in the quiet, undisturbed confidence of that reality. When you constantly seek validation from the outer world, you are giving all your sovereign power away to the physical realm. You are letting temporary, outdated circumstances dictate your inner state of being. To collapse time, you must become psychologically blind to present circumstances. You must realize that what you see in the 3D right now is merely an echo of your past assumptions. It is an old movie playing out, a shadow of yesterday's thinking. If you react to the shadow, you recreate the shadow. Ignore the echo, stop feeding it with your emotional reaction, and anchor yourself firmly in the present reality of your imagination. Step number 2. Occupy the end state as a memory, not a future dream. This is the most critical key to collapsing time, and it is where most people get manifestation completely wrong. Most people, when they visualize, imagine their desire happening in the future. They picture the dramatic moment they receive the money, or the exact second they get the text message. They create scenes filled with high excitement, heart-pounding emotion, and frantic anticipation. But as long as you picture it as an event that is about to happen, your mind registers it as something outside of yourself. You are keeping it firmly trapped in the future. Instead, you must perform a radical shift in your internal perspective. Imagine your goal as if it has already happened, and you are now looking back at it as a past memory. How does it feel when something is already finished? How do you feel about your high school graduation, a trip you took last year, or a job you landed 5 years ago? It doesn't feel like intense excitement or frantic anticipation anymore. It feels like deep relief. It feels completely natural. It feels calm, settled, and unquestioned. When you look at a memory, you don't stress about whether it will happen. You know for a fact that it already happened. It is a done deal. It is permanently etched into your personal history. When you generate that exact feeling of peaceful relief today, regarding your current desire, you instantly collapse the time barrier. You alter your nervous system's response to your goal. You are no longer waiting for the finish line. You are looking back from beyond it. You are no longer living towards the end. You are living from the end. Step number 3. Master your internal dialogue and shift your narrative continuity. Your inner conversation is the ultimate barometer of your state of consciousness. It is the steady stream of self-talk that runs through your mind from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep. Throughout the day, your analytical mind, conditioned by years of physical habits and sensory input, will try to pull you back into the old timeline. It will whisper sneaky doubting thoughts like, "How is this going to happen? When is it coming? What if it fails? What if you're just fooling yourself?" The moment these thoughts arise, do not fight them, do not judge yourself, and do not panic. Fighting a thought only gives it more weight and energy. Simply recognize those doubts as old radio noise from a station you no longer listen to, and immediately redirect your narrative. Reply to your own mind with absolute, calm certainty. It is already done. I am living it now. Do not engage in long, exhausting debates with your doubts, or try to figure out the how. The how is the business of the subconscious mind, not your conscious intellect. Override your doubts with the unshakable conviction that the reality you have constructed in your mind is the only true reality. If a thought, a conversation, or a reaction does not align with the person who already possesses your desire, refuse to give it your precious attention. Continuously, gently return to the feeling of absolute fulfillment. Make that quiet feeling your permanent home. When you consistently apply these 3 steps, something remarkable happens to your entire organism. The underlying anxiety that used to drive your daily life simply disappears. The frantic, desperate energy of needing, wanting, and searching dissolves into thin air. You enter what Neville called the state of Sabbath, a profound psychological state of rest, peace, and spiritual certainty, where you no longer feel the urge to mental wrestle with your reality. In the Sabbath, you know that the seed has been planted, and you can rest easy knowing the harvest is inevitable. And ironically, it is in this exact state of total surrender, relaxation, and inner fulfillment that your physical reality shifts with breathtaking, unexpected speed. The events, people, and circumstances required to bring your assumption into the physical world will align effortlessly. Time collapses because you finally stopped creating the delay yourself. You stopped placing your happiness and identity in tomorrow, and courageously claimed it today. Now, collapsing time only works if you truly master how the law of assumption functions at its absolute core. In my next video, I am doing a complete, step-by-step breakdown on how the law of assumption actually operates, so you can apply it with 100% precision. Subscribe right now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that release.